Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the another quarterfinal matchup. We were kind of heading to a break talking about the semifinals, so that one would be coming up shortly. However, though, we're actually heading into another quarterfinal matchup taking place between Lethal Gaming and the side of Rain. Of course, here for tonight's Unity Prime $2,000 4v4 variant. If you did watch our last set of maps, exact same kind of map set. We're going to have St. Marie Dumont for the Hardpoint, London Docks for Search and Destroy, the ever-glorious CTF on Flat Tower as JetLi pulling off some moves there inside of Bottom Restaurant as he will pick up 2 off the break. As trades going back and forth, Neon along with that getting some hit markers through that wall. That's kind of been an interesting strat that a lot of teams have been developing over time, is whether rocking a kind of a main assault rifle to kind of fire through that initial wall. It can be very difficult to try and break from the opposite side from which you're coming from. But when we do discuss St. Marie Dumont, we talk about a map like this, we do discuss winery and parking lot. Incredibly important hard points. The money hills when it comes down to this map, as it looks like off the start, Lethal Gaming has made those rotations and are currently waiting for that to take place as winery lot does come underway. MuTex along with, I believe that was MajorManiak, falling early. So great map progression being made from the side of Rain. MuTex making his way through mid-street, does catch one off toward the right side, takes down LispZeus, trying to get back in toward this map as player number 8, TeddyRecks, is still holding on strong, waiting for his teammates to join alongside of him, but he realizes that I have to get some pressure done, I have to do my work, as Maniac also responds for 3 big kills, all with the STG-44, backing himself inside of the hard point, and based off of that 3-piece, that is going to give the boys on Lethal the remaining time when it comes down to winery, but initial kills coming toward parking lot as the rotation has been won by the guys on Rain. So some positive, but the deficit they currently face, parking lot can definitely change that for you. Looking on though, and Ramby does take down JetLi. Hitmxn at the same time, he's able to find 2 on the opposite end, as of course, like I said, rotation being made toward this current hard point. This is a hill where you can easily get back into this game. We actually got to watch in our last series exactly the same quarterfinal matchup between Enigma 6 and Complexity. Major difference when Enigma 6 actually took that hard point 2 for the 144, the factor of parking lot. It was a 92 seconds to 2 seconds difference on parking lot. Looks like this match will not see the same fate, but it just goes to show how important a hard point like that is. Can easily lock down at a lot of time. When you're locking down this hard point, really there's only one main vantage point to really rotate towards, because when you're spawning inside of that kind of back radio tower position, you don't really have a whole lot of options. It's just kind of making your way through mid or kind of solidifying yourself into kind of like that similar push. Definitely kind of make things a little bit awkward for you, but as lookout post does come underway, it looks like initial players inside of the hard point were the guys from Rain. But Hitmxn is here. He's trying to pick up the pieces. He's got 2 players pinching him. Doesn't even know that, though. Does he know that's the case? It doesn't even matter. He picks up all 3 on a 5 spree right now as Hitmxn earning 2 out of 3 of his streaks. An artillery barrage awaits him. But can he find it hiding behind these yellow barrels? His teammates are finding the kills. And right now Lethal Gaming begins to falter a little bit. They start to scramble. We'll see if they can kind of formulate a push here with 18 seconds left. Picks up 1 from the side, and just like that, welcome to your artillery barrage. Congratulations, Hitmxn. You've earned full streaks. And now with the rotation coming back in toward lookout post, Rain is back inside of this map. They're back inside of this middle hard point of LispZeus. The main entry man does end up following in JetLi yet again inside of Bottom Restaurant, finding 2 pieces galore, as he's now earned 2 streaks. And right now, if you're this side of Rain, you're feeling pretty good, because, like, hey, we just kind of brought ourselves back in this game. We also have 2 players, actually, who've got full streaks. They have at least 6 streaks to utilize right now, and they've got winery and parking lot coming up. Be keeping that in mind. Despite how much time that the guys from Lethal get inside of Restaurant, these are not when we're going to see the streaks get used. It's going to be off of that rotation or based on winery and or parking for majority of those seconds. So really, if you're Rain, at this point, I would try to get on the rotation. I'm trying to, like, not even get inside a restaurant. I'm trying to either push someone through lookout post or push someone through kind of back radio tower, but it looks like based off Lethal's position, they're watching all those entry points. MuTex being a big kind of player when it comes into watching through radio tower side, aka through BS and D. And it looks like the rotation is set up, and I'm not sure yet. So here comes the initial artillery barrage right in the middle of the hill. So right now, if you're Rain, they're kind of thinking, well, why would you put it in the middle of the hill? They can't even hop inside of it. But they don't really need to. They're not even close to that hill yet, so there's no reason for them to put it anywhere else than in the middle. Wouldn't be bad for them to maybe even put it in the spawn, but it looks like a fight's going down toward the other side of the map, kind of through that garage area. Here comes the glide bomb. TeddyRecks will survive it, but for not much longer, as the shots coming in from the side will give the side of Rain the late game hill time inside of Winery, as they're now up 141 to 114. But Lethal is not settling for scraps. They're going to grab quite a few seconds there toward the end of Winery. But take a look here. TeddyRecks playing spoiler. If he can make a kill happen, if he stare at that spawn point, get the side of Rain to spawn out, that would be huge for his team, but can't make a whole lot of progression. Thankfully, he does stay alive for a little bit. So it's going to make Ramby and Maniac's job a little bit easier. But kind of formulating a push. It looks like player number 4 is nowhere to be found. Neon, though, trying to pick up the pace, but here comes the fighter pilot. JetLi takes down 2. And so this is what I'm talking about. The streaks that get used in this situation are so big from the side of Rain, because in a number, it's like a get out of free jail card. Or get out of jail free card, because you have a number of different opportunities when you're not playing the best, or say the enemy team's outplaying you. You have the immediate response to kind of utilize that card, to utilize that streak, and it totally brings you back into the game as if it even never happened. So what Lethal Gaming does is they have a great push coming into our parking lot. It's the initial setup that comes in from TeddyRecks. He's able to kind of diminish a lot of the early seconds. And as his team kind of gets to push a little bit, kind of solidified, they start to get something kind of going for themselves. They have kind of all 4 players around the hill. The fighter pilot just comes in to ruin everything from JetLi. As that was definitely a pretty heartbreaking moment. However, thankfully for Lethal, they do grab about the last 10 seconds inside a parking lot. So they do grab a decent amount of time, despite the fighter pilot coming forward. And also do have the rotation when it comes in a lookout post, but JetLi doing the work necessary, finding 2. The fighter pilot still is incredibly necessary, but JetLi also is able to find one with the nade, finds one toward the side of MuTex, and playing incredibly strong right now is this man, 21 and 17. At the same time, Hitmxn 24 and 18, Neon 20 and 16. Only player who's not really playing his best is LispZeus. Thankfully, though, he is getting quite a few seconds when it comes down to that hill. However, though, is double negative. Speaking about that scorecard, though, in the top right of your screen, for the red side, aka Lethal Gaming, it's Maniac having a strong performance, 24 and 18, along with Ramby currently at 24 and 22. And MuTex and TeddyRecks about that 16 kill margin. So after the second set of rotations, rather, when it comes down to St. Marie du Mans, we head ourselves back inside a restaurant where JetLi usually likes to reign. Not going to have the opportunity to do so for the moment, but looking on. About a 10-second difference when it comes down to overall control of this game. Maniac continuing to play incredibly strong, incredibly sound, rather. As Maniac has really been a guy that I've had my eye on quite a bit when it came down to the start of World War II. Of course, known as, really, especially for either team, but most notably for the set of Lethal Gaming. All of these guys, as Maniac turns on the LispZeus, not with the gun that he's usually going to rock, normally a main assault rifle player. But all the guys from Lethal are known as kind of search and destroy players, as Maniac does earn the 5th, along with the 6th 9-team streak. Some streaks now starting to go back toward the way of Lethal, as they should be grabbing the lead. But take a look at the top left of your map right now. Making that mid-map push, actually that side-map push toward lookout post, a full 4-man rush. However, the numbers have started to deplete. It's only LispZeus and Neon who are still up and fighting. Neon drops, and so does LispZeus. A full 4-man rush through lookout post is not successful. So Lethal Gaming, who grab a majority of that time inside of middle, will not currently have the spawns in their favor, but here come the streaks. Can they do some work for them? Another artillery barrage in their back pocket, but here comes the responding fighter pilot. This one probably coming from MajorManiak, as he drops 2, kind of countering, in some cases, that position. And now looking on, MajorManiak in the backside of the spawns. believe is getting ready to pull in that glide bomb. So yes, here comes the glide bomb. These seconds inside of Winery are so important because look at the score totals. Only 25 seconds left for Lethal Gaming to close out this map number 1 here on St. Marie. Ramby doing some work with the machine pistol, turns on one, can't find the second. JetLi doing everything that he possibly can, challenging for the last few seconds, but it's not going to be there. And I believe only about, what, 4 or 5 seconds left will the side of Lethal Gaming need after this rotation. But if there was ever a hard point to do it on, it would be on parking lot. This one is not done just yet. Only 4 seconds needed. Maniac does have a streak to use. But TeddyRecks is still doing some damage through mid-street. Ramby on the opposite end. Here comes the pinch, but here comes the Wonder Strike. This one from Maniac. Hitman, though, finds 2. LispZeus ends up dropping. 2 more seconds left, but JetLi wins a big gunfight. 1 second is all they get out of it. And just like that, 3 go down. MuTex ends up falling. All 4 people have dropped from the side of Lethal Gaming, and now Rain are starting to catch some momentum. I talked about how important parking lot can be, and I believe they can. They're actually going to be a second off. So Rain, even if they hold every single second inside of this hill, they're going to be at 249. If anything happens, but Ramby tries to sneak in. Can he win it? And no, yes! LispZeus can't get here in time. A big sneak play comes in from Ramby as he wins a crucial 1v1. They had no idea he would be there. And he picks up the one that he absolutely has to solidify things. As we get to watch the Bronze Star actually come in here from Maniac. That's a nice 3-piece coming in from this man. As I really thought that Rain had the opportunity to bring it back when it came down to parking lot, but that's what makes it so scary, man. It makes it so scary on this map, is that no lead is safe. No lead is ever safe on St. Marie du Mans, especially when you were holding down the remaining time on parking lot. I mean, we talked about what was like 248 to 201, and then it comes down to the wire. Granted, I think if that 1v1 goes a different way or LispZeus has an opportunity to kind of challenge Ramby in that position, it could have been a different story. Maybe we see Rain kind of get to a certain point of view and whatnot, but still though, even if Rain would have gotten every single remaining second, it would have been them, I believe, getting to 248 or 249, and I don't even want to imagine what would have happened on Lookout Post once that hill would have kind of came to a close, but still. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to continued coverage here for the UMG Prime $2,000 4v4 variant. We're hopping in here toward our map number 2 of our current quarterfinal matchup. Taking place between Lethal Gaming and Rain. It was the side of Lethal Gaming who took map number 1 on St. Marie du Mans. And we're in a very close fashion and now possess themselves in a 1-0 advantage, like I said. And when it comes to the best of 3s, maps mean even more. With winning 1 map, they now find themselves on map point, series point rather. So a pretty big momentum boost when it comes down to things. And now have their preferred game mode underway. So if you're Rain right now, not a whole lot of positives. You're a little bit negative after losing that hard point. Early rounds can really kind of boost the morale of a team, especially coming into a CTF. And right now Neon in a pretty awkward spot. 1 versus 2. Of course, if he does find this, it will be the hat trick in the round, finding 3. Gets tags onto Ramby, but I believe it's a teammate in MuTex who is there for the assistance. It's Ramby with the bar, actually. Lingering through mid-map, and you know, from time to time, a bar can be brought out. I think we actually got to watch General from Enigma 6 actually pull out bar in the last series quite a bit. It was having I said quite a bit twice there. I was having a lot of success actually with that weapon on this exact map in particular. So maybe the bar meta is still a thing. I'm actually a big fan of the bar. I think I actually got like my gold bar quite early in World War II. I was a big fan of the gun. Pretty sad when the FG42 meta initially started. So I always have a little bit of a positive when I see a gun like that. I might have a little bit of a attachment to the weapon, it's fair to say. But looking on here, looks like LispZeus and JetLi having quite a bit of success despite losing a man for the first blood here in Hitman. But it looks like MajorManiak goes for the challenge onto the bomb. The machine pistol will take him out, and just like that, Maniac finding another. Being a problem, it's fair to say, and it looks like he finds the 3rd. MajorManiak pistol whipping inside of Doc's warehouse, along with the defuse. Getting close to streaks, as that is just how you retake a hard point single-handedly. Perfect play coming in for MajorManiak. I think his I think I saw on his bio for his PS4, it basically said, like, I'm not very good or something like that. I disagree totally with that. He's very good. He's a solid player. But I think I was actually talking about the hard point, how I really had my eye on this guy when it comes into respawns, because Lethal Gaming, kind of a team known as search and destroy guys. TeddyRecks has kind of led the S&D community, the kind of S&D stars. So you're trying to play Respawn, one of the first players to try to initialize an organization. As it looks like, unfortunately, we do have a round end. Oh, I thought the game ended. I literally thought the game ended. I didn't even realize all players dropped in quick succession like that. I was like, okay, it looks like the you're gonna see a restart, but not at all actually. Lethal Gaming just destroys Rain that fast. Wow, that's actually never happened before. That's interesting. Land's losing it officially, but looking at the scoreline right now, at least from Rain, every player has a kill, but that's a little bit the only positive. Kind of 1 and 3 for everybody. Back on offense, LispZeus. This is the guy, man. I'm telling you, if he can start to kind of get things underway, this group sees success in any game mode. A lot of the times it happens to be in search and destroy, but we'll see what they can do. As it looks like MuTex fairly prone to rocking that sniper rifle from time to time. Of course, you can kind of utilize it on either bomb site. Normally, you're going to kind of see a sniper inside of water. Or inside of Water Street, rather. It's going to be more specific. Not actually in the water. Kind of difficult to shoot bullets through water. But Hitman making it look easy inside a closet. Now MuTex all by himself. Thankfully, it's been a PPSH to make his life a little bit easier, but has one player inside the closet. Gets one onto Hitman, but it will be the boys from Rain who finally are able to chalk one up. Probably a sigh of relief on Skype or TeamSpeak, whatever they're using, Discord, I don't even know. They're kind of like, okay, let's get back into this one. We're down, we're not out. We can still bring this one back. As in that hard point for those who didn't witness it, they had some good moments. They had an opportunity to bring the hard point back. It was kind of a sneaky play from Ramby to hop inside the hill. Only about, what, I think 2 seconds were needed. Again, hops inside the parking lot from the flank and kind of seals the deal. As that probably kind of extinguished what could have been the flame of Rain as far as the confidence is considered. But it looks like loading in toward this round. A current 2v3 as Maniac and Ramby left to settle the score. And Maniac, who's had a very strong game, very strong series, rather. Currently finding himself at 4 and 2. Wants to get to 6. Needs to get the bomb, though. It's a pretty difficult time with that. But thankfully for him, I believe, okay, he doesn't even realize it. I think he thought that the bomb might have been inside of A, or maybe not. He might have just been checking it because it's a common line sight to hold. But with that bomb in place, it's in a pretty awkward position kind of through that mid-water street. I mean, it's very open, a lot of different vantage points where players could be hiding. That's exactly why Rain has the opportunity to win that round despite JetLi missing a sniper shot. Hitman is just kind of casually waiting here. Like, you see how open this area is, and for the bomb to kind of be sitting inside the mid-street, definitely can kind of cause a problem. But be looking out for the first blood potential for the future rounds from Rain. It's really been JetLi with a sniper rifle from time to time. And from the side of Lethal, we know it to usually be MuTex. So we can actually take a look quickly at MuTex's point of view. Does he have that sniper rifle out? It looks like, no, actually put up the FG42. So sitting inside a fire, a lot of mid-map control, a lot of mid-map presence, rather. As, at least, like, for the moment, they're really kind of having a lot of worries when it comes down to the A-bomb site, which we've seen Rain from time to time have an easier time on this bomb site, whether on A or B. And now it looks like JetLi and co. making their way in toward the A-bomb site. Keeping in mind, player number 4, player number 1, MuTex and Ramby on opposite sides of the bomb. Unfortunately for them, it means an opportunity where they can't trade the kill. So JetLi versus Ramby. Who can get the advantage? It looks like it will be JetLi. Shots with the FG42, picked it off the enemy. The enemy corpse at that. It will take out Ramby with it. The ultimate sign of disrespect. Not really. I mean, it'd probably be like teabagging or shooting a body, but, you know, still though. Showing that, hey, I'm pretty good with this weapon also. So props to JetLi. He's been making some pretty, like, high moments, kind of, highlight plays throughout this series, whether it's been the hard point on St. Marie, despite the loss, and also in Search and Destroy as well. This guy can really do it with a lot of weapons. Known for a Search and Destroy game, along with many others. As MuTex off the break somehow loses that battle to Neon. And so that was probably maybe even a half a bullet difference between how that one finished off. But looking on, bomb does, like I said, get planted inside of Doc's warehouse. TeddyRecks being aware of such, needs to try and back up, try to find a different line sight at it, but JetLi is there to settle the score. Ramby coming from the flank, has a nade to toss out. This can spell disaster, as it will take down Neon. JetLi, though, the opposite end is doing work left and right. 6 spree for him, along with the defuse, as JetLi is bringing his team back into this one. A fighter pilot and a glide bomb earned. An advantage in Search and Destroy. I was talking about how someone needed to step up for this group. I thought it would be LispZeus. I really did. I thought it was, and there's still an opportunity for it. But JetLi is answering the call right now. He's playing very, very well, and we'll see what his team can do now. When it comes down to offense, an early first blood would be big for them. Hitman with the shots from LispZeus in the back lines. Teammates watching over each other. You love to see it. That's how you find a first blood. Maniac has fallen, and here come the streaks. They want to secure this round. They want a 5th. As the glide bomb will not find any kills, it will only maybe gain some information, unless the entire opposition is using Mountain, where it looks like maybe MuTex is the only player who isn't. But the 2 versus 2 bomb planter does get dropped. And it looks like a Neon does get flanked around. This is the awkward position where they didn't really know where TeddyRecks was. And that's Search and Destroy intuition that we love to see. And TeddyRecks will drop both. As you can kind of notice here in the situation from TeddyRecks, right? I mean, he really makes Hitman feel the pressure, because once he finds that kill on the flank, it's just a matter of, okay, when's he going to take me out? When is he going to try to challenge on me? Is there a flank that can come in? Like, do I start to feel the pinch? And so he kind of feels so much pressure that he has to choose one point of view or the other. But smart play coming in from Lethal. It's really just about knowing the common spots on the map, knowing how the enemy wants to play, just knowing how Search and Destroy works on this map. And it all comes from grinding as JetLi takes out TeddyRecks on the Dolphin Dive. No regard for the enemy. Taking them down left and right, but MajorManiak, I love that play from him. He tosses up the nade to try to limit the vision, then goes for the challenge. However, it's not going to be there. And now MuTex 1 versus 4. And all to do, as he will take down JetLi, probably from the flank. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen, MuTex. That was almost scary. I'm going to clinch that a little bit, not going to lie. Thought that something could have happened. But MuTex will seek a different fate as the STG-44 from Fire Closet. Or Fire Balcony, rather. Probably not really. It's not actually a closet. It's just it's a balcony. We'll grab the guys from Rain, the 5th round. So on map point, they want to see a CTF. Lethal Gaming, after taking the first hard point, you like to imagine they have a lot of confidence coming into a Search and Destroy, but it really has been the plays from JetLi that have kind of changed things. Maniac has challenged us quite a bit at the time. He has to learn, and he gets taken out again. Back-to-back rounds in this exact same scenario where 2 players are looking directly at him, but he still challenges it. The artillery barrage starts to come through, I believe, along with the fighter pilot. Man-count advantage right now for the boys on Rain. They have the bomb planted. They've got everything going for them, and now TeddyRecks, the last player alive. We can't even visit his point of view before he ends up dropping. And so just like that, the matches, I told you, we're going to only get closer. I really thought, though, I'm not going to lie, I was really thinking in my mind that this one was going to be done in 2 maps because of the way that Lethal Gaming can perform in Search and Destroy. However, I did also mention, too, I got so many little points here and there. I did mention, though, that I thought that Rain, this is a good opportunity for them. London Docks, you could work both bomb sites. You could see success on either. And they definitely saw that. And it really was kind of like off the back of both JetLi, LispZeus, kind of big performances coming from those guys. As you guys can obviously witness here, the final scorecard. A new look when it comes down to how the rounds obviously did play out. Of course, the key in your bottom left to kind of get a little bit of an idea as to how exactly these rounds played out. Of course, most of the time you're going to see quite a few of those skulls, which is basically the enemy team has been eliminated, just kills kind of taking place. But of course, we did see bomb defuses from time to time from either side. But generally, it was one team kind of favoring one bomb site. The first blood's kind of coming through, and just kind of the overall swing at the end. The early 3-0 start coming through for Lethal Gaming that was later countered from Reign's kind of sweep of rounds. You see round 4 to round number 10, they only lose round number 8. So just kind of the overall sweep confidence that they got, which really kind of came from their overall kind of team player support that kind of came through from the overall consistency of these guys, which was exactly needed. And it kind of came in at the best time possible. I mean, a 3-0 to a 4-0 difference is huge. A lot of people will be like, well, that's obvious. But when you're playing best of 11 rounds, first to 6, when you're kind of at that point, it's, where the confidence starts to kind of deplete. It's like, okay, well, what can we really do now? There's a lot of confidence that the other team probably has. Like, how do we kind of muster up the confidence? Like, someone really just kind of has to go off. A highlight play has to happen. And it definitely was there from Reign from time to time as they had some big moments, kind of finding early first bloods and kind of utilizing and being aware of the enemy a lot of the time. Like it felt like Lethal knew where Reign was going, but Reign just had better kind of points of views. And I think it's fair to say Maniac, he was having a strong game, but that early first blood that happens in Closet on that B bomb site, we noticed just 2 times. I think that happened actually 3 times, where he's inside Closet, he's waiting for an engagement to happen, and he has 2 people firing at him. It worked at the beginning, but still though, it was just Reign constantly having each other's backs. They've got to be feeling pretty good. Taking a search and destroy off Lethal is no easy feat. And now heading to some CTF to see who will push themselves to the semifinals to face off against Juke. This should be an interesting one to watch. Last time around in this similar scenario in our last series, we actually got to watch Enigma 6 go up against Complexity, where Dashi went on an 18 kill streak. Yes, an 18 kill streak. I did say that correctly. And had a one heck of a game, to say the least. But it looks like off the break flag, it does get grabbed. So both teams playing fairly aggressive. And so it looks like, I believe, Reign were there to try to grab it early. Didn't see a whole lot of success. Lethal clearing out their base, and now Ramby is in the back lines. He's made it behind the enemy's camp. And LispZeus has been tagged in the side. And where is Ramby going to rotate to? He actually will escape with his flag for the time being. Play number 8. LispZeus doesn't know exactly where he's rotated to. He thinks he's actually made it through middle, but MuTex is there to watch the cut. In this one, it's going to go down. Lethal Gaming are going to get a flag on the board, and this is another kind of sneaky play that comes in from Ramby, much similar to the hard point that we witnessed on St. Marie du Mans. It was a matter of Lethal Gaming. They were up in the game. I think they only needed 2 more seconds. It was in the hill parking lot. Reign is locking down time. And funny enough, it's another scenario where it's kind of LispZeus versus Ramby, and Ramby just makes the sneaky, smart play. He realizes, hey, if I use good trigger discipline, if I kind of utilize what I need to, I can get what I want, and I don't even have to fire a bullet. Or I can, kind of wait to fire some bullets. So smart plays coming in from this man, Ramby. Knows what to do in a bunch of different situations. Granite finally gets his first kill on the board. As JetLi makes the nice jumping drop shot onto one. Flat Tower definitely playing pretty quickly, as I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say surprised, but we're seeing a decent amount of STG play in this series, not even, just on maps that kind of favor it. Of course, London Docks and Flat Tower, it's fair to say kind of favor the STG 44, just because, compared to a bar, which is, useful in FG 42 as well. But, still, STG 44, fantastic weapon to utilize in up close matchups, but PPSH, of course, does reign supreme most of the time, as LispZeus showing exactly why that is the case. Finding 2, walking through Lethal right now, trying to prance his way toward the flag. The farthest pushed up player is play number 8. Fortunately for though, LispZeus will end up following. TeddyRecks and co are there, and this is where we kind of talk about the discussion of Flag Tower. And the reason why a lot of teams don't like to play this map is just, quite literally, it's so hard to get a flag out. It is so difficult to really just kind of get a flag in your favor and just move with it. And that's exactly why. Hitman takes out the entire, or not the entire enemy team, but there's 3 down. He rotates toward one side of the map where hopefully the enemy isn't, and that's where they happen to spawn up at. The enemy literally spawns up, they turn around, and he's right there. It's kind of like on this map, you have to take down like 3 or 4 waves of the enemy just to have an opportunity to get the flag in your favor, and it's really a big deal from time to time. As streaks are kind of hard to use on this map just because of the amount of buildings that you have an opportunity to be inside. I mean, most of the time you're in a building on this map. I would say like 60% of the time you're probably in a building of some sort, and probably 90% of the time you have the opportunity to get inside the building. So streaks aren't as useful, but if you get streaks on your side, if you can earn like an artillery barrage or even a glide bomb, it can be pretty useful if you can use it under the right circumstances, which usually has to be aiming at the enemy spawn. Being aware of where the players are going to be spawning at is very crucial. Player counting, it's very common in CTF communication. It's big. It looks like right now, Lethal Gaming still with that one flag advantage, as LispZeus and JetLi will take down the final two in their base. And with about 45 seconds left, we'll see if anyone can try to make a last-ditch effort here. It looks like pretty much both teams kind of, like, on this map so far, we haven't really seen like a full like 4-man rush. It's kind of like about both teams calling out, like, okay, left side's clear, middle's clear, right's clear, whatever it may be, like kind of all 3 lanes being utilized from both these teams. So we're not really seeing like one solidified push where it's a 4-man rush, because of course you do run the risk in doing that play and like a counter cap or kind of a counter play coming through, an overextension from the enemy once off spawn. So you're going to see a lot of teams really not favor that, and both these teams not trying out that strategy. It looks like player number 5, JetLi, the closest player toward a flag here at the end, but too little, too late. Can't get his hands to grasp the flagpole. So at the half, it will be a 1-0 advantage toward the side of Lethal Gaming. Not much, it's fair to say. I mean, Flag Tower, it doesn't play to me as high scoring as London Docks, just for obvious reasons, because, you know, on London Docks, you find 3 kills in a row. If you're in somewhere near the enemy base, it's pretty much a guaranteed flag if you have the cuts watched. On a map like this, I mean, it can be kind of quirky. It's a little bit difficult. Spawn system is a little bit off from time to time, so you never really have full-on confidence that a flag is going to be securely capped. Map's a little bit bigger, obviously, than London, too, so we'll see, obviously, how it does play out. One flag advantage isn't big, but it is an advantage nonetheless. As player number 8 will grab the flag off the start. It will be LispZeus. JetLi watching the front, however, the back is where he really needed to be present on. It looks like Hitman picking up the pieces, but this is like the thing that really frustrates me in CTF. It's like Hitman finds that kill, and while it does mean something for streaks, it just doesn't really mean anything, because it's like, okay, he finds a kill, but generally like nothing really gets accomplished, because it's like if he would have found that kill 5 seconds or 8 seconds before then, that could have been a flag out. It's just always frustrating to kind of see something like that. But as I'm speaking on it actually means like he could be doing something. 7 streak in total for Hitman and Neon combined, as it looks like Neon does get dropped in the base. Hitman might have escaped with this flag, and not far off streaks as well. Does get Sun, needs to around the corner, but no one's here to try to even challenge him, as this one will get home. No one from the side of Rain, or excuse me, no one from the side of Lethal to stop this one from going in. So massive props to Hitman in that position for staying alive, backing up when needed to, earning those streaks. It looks like MuTex has made it behind enemy lines. I thought for the moment, since one guy was in this inside the fighter pilot or in the glide bomb, I think that was actually Hitman, he had the opportunity to actually escape with that flag, because that player has no way of getting out of that and knowing that the flag had just been grabbed. But it looks like JetLi on the opposite end has found himself with the objective in his hands. Can he get it home? The fighter pilot escorting it quite nicely, as back-to-back flag captures coming in from the side of Rain, as they're starting to surprise. As Hitman is now on an 8 streak. He has not died since being in that middle position, doing the working from long range, challenging MajorManiak. It's never an easy fight to take this man down, let alone when you're facing off against an assault rifle at that range. But be taking a look at that artillery barrage. The top of his streaks, he has one to utilize here. So that's going to be big when it comes down to this match. I talked about how streaks can be useful from time to time if you utilize them correctly. But an artillery barrage can literally like hold off an enemy wave for about 6 or 7 seconds. So when we talk about how useful an artillery barrage can be, if he puts that in his base, if he puts that in the enemy's base, it's about a solid 10 seconds where the enemy doesn't really have any options. So the longer that he holds on to that streak, and the longer the time that he doesn't even have to use it, it's just better and better for the side of Rain. As looking on here, 2-minute warning coming in here for the second side of CTF. Can Lethal Gaming get a flag out, keeping in mind the streaks that are still in the back pocket for Rain? As far as outliers right now, of course, we do discuss Hitman for going on the streak that he did. I think that was, what, like an 8 or 9 streak that he ends up going on. That he manages to obviously secure. But, of course, he's kind of the hot man, along with LispZeus for the side of Rain. For Lethal, though, it looks like MuTex, along with Maniac, very close to that 20-kill margin. As Lethal look to try to make some map control, and with taking down half the enemy team, that's the opportunity to do it. And right now, if you're Hitman off spawn, do you put the artillery barrage down? It looks like he does try to go for the challenge. MuTex ends up getting taken out. Hitman puts it forward, and yes, he does actually put the artillery barrage forward, so this is going to limit the enemy off of their only position to really get toward that flag, which is either through the kind of side area or in through middle. TeddyRecks, though, is lingering in the corner, drops one, drops two, cannot find JetLi, but MuTex is there for the pickup. Hitman, the last player alive, and he will get picked off there as well. 4 players down for the side of Rain. Can they score this one in? And it looks like the flag does get stopped. It does get returned. It seemed like an opportunity where Lethal could have snuck one in. The artillery barrage doesn't get utilized the way that it could have potentially have been. This is what makes it awkward. You have 25 seconds left. Of course, you do have the minute of kind of grace period overtime. If you do have the flag in your hands. But it's so difficult to get this flag out on the flag tower. It's so difficult, especially when you're down and the game's getting ready to close out, because the enemy's just going to kind of park the bus. They have nothing to worry about. However, when you do kind of get back to your base, it can cause some problems. MuTex does drop one, needs to find the other, goes for the Dolphin Dive. However, it's not going to be home, and just like that, it will be the boys on Rain who close out CTF 2 flags to 1, and now book their ticket to face off against Juked in the semifinals here for the UNG Prime $2,000 4v4 variant. I mean, to be honest, we talk about Flag Tower in this series with Lethal and Rain, and of course in the last series with Enigma 6 and Complexity, kind of guys who went on streaks were really the deciding factor of this map. It was Hitman who goes on that streak, and I was kind of discussing and saying like how it really wasn't important for Hitman to find a certain kill. When I say it wasn't important, I don't mean as if like it doesn't matter that he finds a kill. But basically what I mean was that it was just kind of frustrating throughout that game, because it was like a matter of his teammates find a kill, they get traded, Hitman finds a kill, but he has no teammate support. But I mentioned that, but there's kind of like a little bit of a preface with that, because it's also a factor, because once Hitman finds those kills, he ends up staying alive. He doesn't like actually like kind of take his life down. He kind of backs up, waits for his teammates, and that's when they're able to kind of get a push forward. And once he does that, he earns streaks off of it. They end up kind of getting counter cap after counter cap. You know, Lethal had the opportunity at the end to potentially grab a flag with the artillery barrage, try to delay things, which it did its job. You know, the artillery barrage isn't always meant just to find kills. It's also meant to try and delay, which is what it was kind of utilized for at the end. So to me, what is it? MuTex finishes off 25 and 19 for the side of Lethal Gaming. MajorManiak ends up finishing off 20 and 14. Ramby, despite the kind of early start where he had that little kind of sneaky counter cap at the beginning of the map, isn't able to kind of get things done and finishes off 13 and 20 as well. So, of course, we do wave goodbye to the side of Lethal Gaming. They did take the hard point. Was incredibly close. So this was an opportunity where if Rain has a little bit of a better start in the hard point, you know, kind of locks things down a little bit better in parking lot, kind of crosses their T's, dots their I's, they have the opportunity to maybe even win this one in a 2-0. I mean, this is arguably all 3 maps could have gone in their favor from time to time. But obviously they do win the ones that matter the most, and the Search and Destroy, I think, gave them a lot of...
Go on, master.